everyone and welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me here today. My name's Claire and this is Mrs. D. So today we are going to be following on from our AI children's storybook. And today I'm going to be taking you through how you can use Midjourney to do your character development. Now, something that is really crucial to know is that you must pay for the membership in order to be able to resell these images. So it's just £8 a month. So if you think about the income that you could generate with your storybook, it's a drop in the ocean. But it is really important to know that. So you can create any images that you like on Midjourney, but you must have the membership in order to be able to resell. Now today, make sure you do stick through to the end, because what you'll see me do is basically start off with some really basic prompts, and then over time we're kind of building and building and building until I get that character development spot on. So if this is the kind of content that you enjoy, then please do not forget to like, comment and subscribe. I love hearing from you guys. And yeah, let's stop waffling on. Let's jump over onto the computer right now.
So here we go over on Midjourney. So this is the first prompt that I've used, which was little boy character, multiple poses and expressions, children's book, illustration style. Simple, full colour, safari outfit, mid-length, blonde, wispy hair, no outline. And the images that have come back are pretty good. So let me just make this a little bit bigger so that you can see all of the pictures just a bit closer up. So really, the reason that I'm not overly keen is they're kind of just a bit too cartoony for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to modify my prompt. So I'm going to copy this one here and paste it in, but first of all, putting in the imagine / imagine, and that's how you get your text to image. Now I'm just going to amend the text slightly. So I'm just popping in here an age that's slightly more specific. And basically, when you're coming up with your images, you just you need to keep playing about with it. So I've added in the age and also the watercolor. So now that will be generating some new images. As you can see, that's pulling through right now. And then we can start to see if any of these are a bit more appropriate. Yes, they're really sweet, but perhaps, yeah, still not quite right. I mean, this one here is possibly the better one for my aesthetic, but it's not quite there just yet. So I'm going to try again. So again, / imagine, the prompt comes up. Now I'm going to pop that in. So I'm just going to take out the wispy hair. I'm going to put in the safari outfit, including a hat and rucksack, making that a bit more specific. I'm going to add it in here, blue eyes, cute, small, and see how this translates. It really is just trial and error, and you just need to kind of keep reworking it until you get something that you are really happy with. But I really like this way of asking for multiple poses and expressions. This way it's going to give us something a little bit more. So again, still not quite there. I mean, the bottom one's kind of a bit anime. The other ones, I mean, yeah, they're just not right for the aesthetic of my book, which is absolutely fine. I just need to keep working on these prompts a little bit more. And it's fine, you know, these are the characters that you're going to be having in your book. So you need to make sure that it is right for you and your style. Okay, so still not being too happy with what's done. I'm going to do / imagine, copy and pasting that prompt in again. And I'm going to try and make it even more descriptive. So I'm going to add in here khaki green rucksack, the brown hat, I want to also add in something around maybe walking boots as well. And of course, add in safari for the hat. Okay, so let's push enter and let's see how this one translates, and let's see what this gives me. I feel as though I'm definitely being a lot more specific, but oh gosh, let's see what comes up. Oh, okay, so this one here is slightly more interesting, I would say. So of all of these ones, I probably like this bottom one here the most. I think he's quite a cute character, but it hasn't given me much to go on. I think the character itself is good, but and even maybe the walking away picture is pretty good, but the other two, not great for me. So on reflection, I think I'm going to upscale these two images. So the first and the third one, so they're the two on the left-hand side. I think they were the best out of all of them. And then I can see if I can kind of amend and adjust them from there, put them in some different scenes, different poses, and see how we get along. So here you go, you can see the first group of images has come up, and here are the second ones. So these are now upscaled, and I can now save these across onto my desktop. And actually, I think these ones have come out so much better than I initially thought now that I can see them being upscaled. There are definitely a few images there that I may potentially use. I really like the outfit. I kind of feel like it's a bit more modern little boy makeshift safari. So I'm going to hit there, make variations, and see what that brings me up with. As yeah, I'm really liking that one. Here we go. Oh wow, so as you can see, so many more options, and it's given me so many different kind of characters, different poses, which is really going to help me out, which is just absolutely brilliant. And as you can see, it's a pretty consistent character, which I am super happy about. I think this is gonna, yeah, really make such a huge difference to the book. So now what I really want to do is really start to focus on kind of using this character and trying to make him a little bit more animated. So I'm popping in here another prompt, but now I'm adding, again, keeping the multiple images, but asking for a dynamic running pose, excited expression, just to see what comes up here. So at first glance, I'm not entirely sure that these are excited expressions, or they look pretty terrified really to me. But there might be a couple of back shots here that I can use. So yeah, I'm not totally disregarding them, but it may have been hoping for slightly more. But there are some back shot running ones that may be quite good just there. It would be the top right image that I think would possibly be most suitable for the back shots. And now I think I will go on and focus on a different scene that I would like to create. So I'm thinking that I'd like the main character kind of sat down on the floor, and yeah, so I'm going to copy across that exact same prompt, but firstly, I'm going to take out the dynamic running pose. I'm just going to replace that with sitting down on the floor. See what that brings us up with. Okay, so here come these images. So actually, there are a few here that I may potentially be able to use. The big image in the second one, I'm going to upscale that. I really like that, and I can see that definitely working with the other characters that I have chosen to use. So this is the upscaled image. So in particular, this middle one I really like, and potentially the small image, the top right corner, I also really like. So now these are the dynamic running poses that have just come through, and actually again better than I kind of thought. So I've got a couple of backshot ones there which are really good. I won't be using that large image, but also the bottom right corner is pretty good as well. But I'm going to see if I can get anything else. So I'm copying that across and I'm going to have a look and again change the expression to happy expression. And I also am kind of imagining that the main character in one of the scenes might be jumping. So I want to just see what that's going to bring up for me. As you can see, I'm just kind of constantly playing around, but the characters, because I'm keeping everything else the same, I'm only really changing the pose. It's yeah, it's kind of really working for me. So let's take a look at these images just as they kind of haven't worked so well. So there's this refresh button here. So if you're not happy with any of the images, you can hit that and that will bring you up 4 more images. So you have to remember that I'm producing multiple images at a time, which is a really, really crucial part of it. Still not entirely happy. So I'm going to try a slightly different prompt. I'm going to take out the dynamic, leave it as jumping in the air, and see how that kind of delivers. Here we go. They're just coming up now. I feel like a real sense of anticipation when you can kind of start to see like the outlines and things that you just don't know what's coming up. I mean, some of these ones in the bottom, potentially when they're upscaled, the bottom left might be okay. And what I would say is I do think there is a big difference between the preview image and the upscaled image. So do bear that in mind as well. So as I said, I've really got quite a clear aesthetic of what I wanted. But what I want to just kind of show you now is how we can kind of keep some of the keywords the same, but kind of work on some of the other characters and just see how they come up. So you can see here, I've kept the children's book illustration style, watercolor, simple, full color, flat color. And then I'm putting in here, scene in the jungle, herd of elephants surrounded by hyenas. So that would be an image that I would like within the book. So I thought we'd kind of start with that and see how it comes up, whether or not that would kind of fit with the character that I've developed. And there are people that are managing to incorporate characters that they're creating within Midjourney into these scenes. I would definitely say that I am not advanced enough. You know, this is still a real learning curve, and I'm hoping that by you watching this that you're also learning at the same time. So none of these are really fitting the aesthetic that I want to go for, although they are very beautiful. So I think with my knowledge of Canva, I kind of know that I can get something a bit closer to what it is that I want for this, but I am going to have a look and see if we can create an elephant character using similar prompts so that I can kind of see if I can maybe use something along these lines. But equally, I've already seen a few images within Canva that I have got earmarked. So these would have to be pretty special in order to, you know, keep up with that. So let's take a look and see what they're giving me. Oh, see, these are all kind of a bit sickly sweet, and maybe it's because I've added in character actually. Yeah, and they're not the style that I would want for the book at all. I will just try one more thing. I'm just going to take put in realistic and see if that kind of amends it or not. I just, yeah, I don't want it to be too cartoony at all. Like, I want it to feel as though it is a real elephant that has kind of been illustrated. And yeah, I mean, these are just not working for me at all. I know the ones in Canva that I would like to use and go for. So I think I will definitely be sticking with that in this situation. But of course, you could, think of how long I've spent doing my prompts for my main character. If you keep working on the other characters, you can absolutely get to exactly what it is you want. But if I kind of kept going like this video would literally never end. I have actually had to edit out so much. I think it took me about maybe a good 4 or 5 hours of kind of new prompts and changing. So this here is kind of the elephant images that I will be using. So as you can see, like, they're really beautiful watercolor elephants. They are flat. They've got no outline. Like, they're just, to me, that is the aesthetic of my book. And these kind of creatures and animals that you can see in the recommended are definitely what I'll be using. Here we've got the hyenas as well. And it just kind of all matches in and ties in. So I'm not at all concerned about not using the Midjourney prints for that. Obviously with Canva, you do need to either have the Pro membership if you want to use ones with the little crowns. So for example, these hyenas have all got the crowns by them. But I do have a link in my description below if you would like to check that out. That will give you 30 days for free. And here, these are just some of the characters that I have transported in. So I can start to see and play around with what it is I want. Now, last week's video, I did release the full illustration as to how I went through and kind of developed and did the book. I had to break this down into several parts, otherwise it would have just gone on for days. But so you can kind of go through and see that. I'll put a link to that video down in the description. And also at the end, I will have it as an end screen. So all you need to do is simply click onto that one.
So as I absolutely promised you, that video was just so filled with absolutely everything. There is so much to cover. This is just a drop in the ocean. The more and more you use these different AI tools, the better that you become at using them. I think they are so intuitive, but I kind of remember when computers first came out, and do you remember how they used to like jam a lot? And your teacher would say, oh, well, it must be something that you've done. It wasn't. It was that the computers couldn't keep up with what we were doing back then. Well, I kind of feel like Midjourney, ChatGPT is almost a bit of a similar thing. Like, you keep feeding it information and you get better and better back. When you're a kid and you're first starting out to use the computer, you're kind of blah, 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 blah. And then it gets easier and suddenly the computer starts to work for you because you understand it. And it is exactly the same thing. So just think about your earning potential with ChatGPT, Midjourney. This is just the teeniest drop in the ocean. I cannot stress it enough. Really hope you've enjoyed today's video. I cannot wait to see you all next time. See you soon. Bye.